Brigitte Bardot, who died this week at age 91, was one of the most famous actresses of the 1960s. However, in 1973, at age 39, at the pinnacle of her career, she gave it all up to devote herself to animal rights. This opened her eyes to immigration. She was horrified by Muslim ritual slaughter, slitting animals' throats and letting them bleed to death. She became an outspoken opponent of Islam and immigration and was fined 6 times for inciting hatred. She also opposed gay pride and called the Me Too movement hypocritical and ridiculous. BB, as she was known from her initials, started modeling at 19. She wore bikinis at a time when hardly any Americans dared to. She rocketed to stardom in 1957 with the release of the French film And God Created Woman, which showcased her uninhibited screen presence. She was on the cover of Screenland in 1959 and was a sensation wherever she went, here in Brazil in 1964. She originated the Bardot pose, which many models have copied. In 1969, she became the model for Marianne, the symbol of the French Republic, displayed in French city halls. The film world was stunned when she stopped acting. In her 2006 book, Pourquoi, or Why, she explained her reasons for turning her back on the fabulous sums I was being offered to show my bottom on screen, or even just the tip of my nose. She cared deeply about the plight of animals. Here she is at a demonstration in 1995, but she was also exhausted by stardom. She withdrew to the seclusion of her seaside home in Saint-Tropez. BB was first convicted of inciting hatred and fined the equivalent of $4,200 in 1997 for a letter in the Figaro newspaper. France, my homeland, is again invaded with the blessing of successive governments by a foreign overpopulation, notably Muslim, to which we pledge allegiance. From this Islamic overflow, we must, defenseless, suffer all their traditions. Why, like sheep destined for illicit sacrifices, do we not react? In her 2003 book, A Scream in the Silence, Miss Bardot criticized race mixing and mass immigration, which she called dangerous and uncontrolled. It not only resists adjusting to our laws and customs, but will, as the years pass, attempt to impose its own. She contrasted her close homosexual friends with ones who behave like fairground freaks. They jiggle their bottoms, put their little fingers in the air, and with their little castrati voices moan about what those ghastly heteros put them through. BB was fined $6,000 for these passages, but the book, unexpurgated, is still for sale. French courts think it's easy to incite hate. Here are more crimes. I am against the Islamization of France. We see mosques springing up while our church steeples go silent for lack of priests. She called Muslims cruel and barbaric invaders, a population that is destroying us, destroying our country, and imposing its acts. She called for a ban on Jewish ritual slaughter of animals. France still controls the island Réunion, not far from Madagascar. She said the natives have kept the genes of savages, and that they behead goats during festivals that are reminiscent of cannibalism from past centuries. BB mocked the Me Too movement and said she rather liked to be told she was beautiful or had a cute bottom. Miss Bardot had 3 trial marriages before she found lasting love in 1992 with Bernard Domal, a former advisor to the great French patriot Jean-Marie Le Pen. He was with her when she died. Lefties hate her politics. From sex appeal to the far right, sniffed the New York Times. Chapelle Rowan, whoever she is, first praised Miss Bardot, but quickly recanted. Holy shit! I did not know all that insane shit Ms. Bardot stood for. Obviously, I do not condone this. Thus do midgets yap at giants. Bibi was outspoken to the end. She said she wanted to be buried in her garden under a simple wooden cross, just like her pets, and didn't want a crowd of idiots at her funeral. What will be her legacy? On Bibi's 83rd birthday, a bronze likeness was unveiled in Saint-Tropez. She is naked, floating on a seashell. Brigitte Bardot will always be remembered as the blonde goddess who turned every man's head in the 1960s. She was also a woman who loved her people and wanted France to be French forever.